as a true hit stun combo.
I'm sorry,
So.
I was just making sure they were good before. Okay, all right, cool. I just want to make sure that. All right, can you repeat everything you just said?
So if you combo Plummus or up tilt where you would normally get the single blaster shot as a true combo, you actually with the projectile speed buff, the speed increase gives you enough time to actually get a second blaster shot as well. So just a little bit extra damage there as well. Definitely not the main.
Speaking of extra speed on stuff too, when you send everything through those portals, those projectiles increase in speed too, so that could catch you tripping. But look at the way that Retro's using these side airs and these downers, like constantly approach, getting quick jabs and then retreating so you can catch a defensive object. Because usually one of the things that happens when you fight against Reindog is it's easy to want to panic as you're getting hit by singular like jabs, and then Retro just takes full advantage of that.
And
So
he's doing a really good job of using these projectiles to control space as well. Just limit Morty's options and not give him any time to set up, taking full advantage of then getting the pressure into his face.
I agree. Screw that. Don't let Morty get set up.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to let Morty get anything going.
And I know there's been a lot of talk about how strong Morty is in this game, but I think one of the ways you limit that is don't let him get set up, right?
Yeah,
if you can stick in his face and prevent him from setting up his projectiles, not give him time to fire a gun, then it can be hard for him to get too much started, and we're seeing it right here.
Yep, stay right next to him. And also, when you have a character like Reindog, your zoning game is pretty strong comparison. I think that the normal is pretty good, but right now Retro's just kind of outplaying in that range. Going for Sair, jab one loops. I hadn't seen that, but that's a fully charged down air that's gonna get Sice being a little bit too aggressive, and Retro already up 2 stocks.
And the way Retro's played, it just feels like Sice just hasn't been able to get anything started so far.
Yeah,
like,
it's been pretty rough, to say the least. Trying to find his way in has been kind of a nightmare. Downer finds his mark, though. Not the best recovery in the world, but he gets back on, borderline unchecked.
Definitely, it feels like that disadvantage state, Retro kind of cashed in some of the respect me because of how far this game's been going in my favor so far. Just saying, you're going to give me a little bit extra respect, I'm going to use that. I don't need to get the best recovery to
you're up
come
2
back.
stocks.
And,
I mean, like, that's a big difference here with the 3-stock, the 2-stock meta is that you have that extra one to kind of push as well. But finishing the jabs, going in, trying to chase him, I would not be surprised if we see a knockout pretty soon. But I also wouldn't be surprised is that after this game is done, if we see Sice switch over to the tried and true Shaggy. But I mean, he's waking up a little bit here.
Yep, he's definitely found a couple opportunities. He's managed to catch some of Retro's landings just a little bit, caught his aerial play. And it's coming in, but the question is, right, is it too little, too late?
I don't think so. I think game 1 here, I mean, it's definitely too late now as Retro takes that. he looks so displeased in his actions. Yeah. And all Reindogs are evil people. They act like they're nice people, but they aren't. They try to pretend. But look at him. Look at the murder in those eyes. I've
got some news for you. Watching Retro play Reindog right now is making me want to try to play Reindog.
I'm not surprised.
But that's because I hate other people.
I'm not surprised. I feel like after what you told me yesterday, where you play Snake, Duck Hunt, and there was one more that was going to be fun. Wii Fit, yeah. You play all the weirdos.
Little Mac, Rob,
like control. Yeah, you don't like people having fun.
Yeah, no.
And now I don't disagree with that in a 1v1 game because nobody else should be having fun. It should just be you. But
don't have options. I want all the options. The whole point of a fighting game is for me to have options, not for you to have options. Also, why do I want you to have options? I want to beat you.
True, but
just not in rock, paper, scissors because you won't get me on cam. So.
Now, curious thing that was left alone here is, I put the wrong player score there. It was actually Retro that took game 1. So, Retro left tree fort open. Now, this stage is still pretty good for Reindog because you can get really early down air spikes here, but also you can get knocked out extremely early with Shaggy existing here. Now, Shaggy Sice going with the normal layout of his triple jump, 100 plus buff and last stand, as well as air mobility, so he can continue to try. And once he gets 100 plus, he's going to knock you out with the quickness, but also so he can get up there as quick as possible with that triple jump to try and knock you out at like 30, which is pretty much what he's looking for here on G4.
Yeah, this stage being so small really benefits Shaggy in this matchup is what it feels like, because it just doesn't give Reindog the space to wall out with those projectiles, and Shaggy wants to play a much more up close and personal game than tends to want to. But
what a call out!
He was
fully
so
charged
ready.
Up attack. He knew he was going for that. That's a lot of defensive options burn, and he actually somehow got out of that using that flying side special. I am super surprised he got away because he used pretty much everything there.
And on paper, right? I think part of it is that flying side special on paper. It seems like, oh, why would you go for this? It's not the best option, but because Retro was so in his head, he knew what Sice was looking for, that option just works in those situations, right? When you pick an option that on paper is bad, it's good because you're just leveling your opponent one extra. You're adding it again, right? It stack overflows just a little bit.
All right, let's see what happens here. Going to go for the downer. Not going to be enough to get the knock off the top. You get a free rage while you're in the skies like that. Granted, Reindog being one of the few characters you can kind of challenge that. And I like how Retro's kind of like making him think that he could go punish that crystal, and he hasn't been able to. He finally gets one with the knee, but Retro was constantly playing just around the space of it so he can bait him to go for it. But that's going to lead to a knockout, and Sice strikes first here in game number 2.
And really good also, like, just follow on that DI there as well from Sice with the down air.
Oh,
somehow
that was so good. That was so good. That was so good. You're forced to drop down after the rage charge, and then after you drop down on the rage charge, you see another projectile coming out, so you panic with the defensive option. And then after all that, you jump up. You're scared of a potential down air, and he just throws another one at you. Like, there's so much that you get covered by that.
And the other thing too is if you don't jump there, then Reindog can just go off and pressure you in that situation too. So it
Which
really
happened like every other time before that too.
The thing about projectiles in fighting games is they force options out of your opponent. They limit options, they control space that your player doesn't, and it leads not to true combos always, but it will always lead to setups. It always leads to the more creative you can get. And speaking of creativity, right?
Speaking of true combos,
coming in and just showing you what Shaggy can do right there.
Wait until Sice learns how to dare loop consistently. That's going to be an actual problem. But
like Zoinks, AJ.
Yeah, oh my god. Well, Mystery Machine is not necessary for this one because he has figured things out here in game number 2. But his last stand has been activated. He almost got hit by down attack. That would have been an answer to that armor, and he's forced to dodge. Tried to dip down below, but the charge from Retro answering him on the stall, and that gets him.
And we see it there, though, right? That time, Sice decides not to jump. We saw the same projectile come out, and that time Retro said, okay, you're not going to jump. I'm going to use this projectile, control that space, get you with the down air. And right, we saw it happen both ways. He had the same setup, found both options off it, and he's done a really good job of just conditioning Sice's options here, controlling that space and punishing whatever Sice is looking for out of disadvantage.
Yeah, keep him stuck in place. But Sice gets him on the bounce on the down air, and once again, this stage coming into big play. You might have maybe been able to DI that on another one, but here on Tree Fort, not going to happen. It looks like Sice getting that much closer to hopefully pushing this to game 3, because the way they're playing, I'd like to see it.
Yeah, no, this second game has been an absolute banger between these two. Just back and forth, a lot of creativity, a lot of combos. Both these players very comfortable with their characters, and just the way they've been playing back and forth, it's just...
we don't see him use that too often. He went for like the parry shock off the neutral special, which is a great answer when somebody charges too quickly, but Retro's going to take him out with the down attack, expecting him to go in aggressively, and he did, and that's going to lead to Retro taking it 2-0 here over Sice.
And